Hey guys, how are you? How are you doing? It's Becca here. I'm in the garden and we are working on some things today. So I was going to show you guys a little bit of what I'm up to with the loofah. Most of them are dry. So these have been drying either outside, and as they've dried, I've brought them in the house. And then let me get grab this. They'll sound like a little rattle. Now you can let them usually dry on the vine. And what I've been doing is I'm just kind of pinching off one of the ends. And then I've got a bowl here, and I'm tapping out and shaking and getting the seeds out. So as you can see, we've got some immature seeds here, the white ones, and some of these where they're black with the white around the edge, those are also immature, but the ones that you're gonna save and keep are the ones that are completely black. So these are gonna be your most viable seeds, and I will sort these out, and as we're out here, I will shake this around and blow. It's called winnowing, and then that gets rid of all this little extra flaky things that have been inside. And then these will get soaked in some water, and then makes it easier for them to peel and not tear, and then I can get them to dry again and get them up and ready for our Etsy shop, BeccasByTheBay. So that's part of what I'm working on today. I also have some leftover Moringa seed pods from our tree. So these are the same thing. So you're going to let them dry on the tree. I'll show you our tree in a minute. And then you're going to bring them inside, so they don't get moldy or anything like that. And you want them to be, this one, see, these are immature here. These are a little bit lighter, just to show you the difference. These are immature. This is a mature seed. So this is going to have very poor germination. This is going to have a much better germination rate. So that's what we're up to today in the garden. So let me bring you over to show you our Moringa tree here. So I cut it back. There's actually, ours had died from the freeze, I thought. Cut it back, and then it sprouted four trees in here. So it got really, really tall and was bending over, and it snapped, so I just cut it back, and it's growing back just fine. I usually trim it in the fall anyway. Here, there's like another one that's in a pot over here with our banana trees, and here's one of the seed pods that dried on it that's so that needs to be snipped off and harvested. There's a couple of them, so we're gonna harvest those today. And the other thing we were working on, and let me bring you over here, trying to flip you around so you're not like, we got a lot going on. So I wish I had done the tree picture beforehand. It was absolutely gorgeous. It's our fig tree. So here's our fig tree. It looks dead, but it's not. It's very much alive, and so I just drastically cut it back and pruned it back. And basically what you want to do with your fig tree for fall, we're here in Zone 9B, South Texas, everywhere you trim means next season it'll put on new growth, and you get figs off of your new growth only. So if you don't trim it, you're not going to get new figs, as many figs. You'll get much more many figs growing if you prune it back pretty good. So that's what I did today. And I've got more fig trees in here that I pruned back. So we got those in here. Don't worry, it's okay if it doesn't have any leaves. A lot of times in the fall, they drop all their leaves. It's perfectly normal. And they come back in the spring. So I'll try to do a quick demonstration of what I did here. These are all fig cuttings from our Miss Figgy, little purple Miss Figgy. And I think I got 32. So there's a bunch over here and a bunch over here that I did. here's all of our seedlings that I'll try to do an update on a different video. So, if I to bring it outside. You don't necessarily have to have a rooting hormone. It is very helpful. So, grab this and this. Okay. So, just a kitchen knife. Not a serrated one, kind of a, just a sharp, flat one. And I got Fertilome. This is a rooting hormone. Let me flip it around the other way so you can see it better. Fertilome rooting powder. And, so basically I've got, look out, Kara. I'll just show you. Here's some fig cuttings. You're so cute. This one is really skinny, and I've tried to root some of these before in the past, and they don't do as well. You can always try, but it's very skinny. So you want something that's at least 3/4, a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch round. So something more like, just to show you the difference here, you want something a little bit thicker and rounder. So here's my thumb, just for a reference. Something a little bit, come on, focus. A little bit wider for circumference. This is going to be too short of a cutting to root. You want something generally, you know, about 8 inches or more, if you can. This one was a little curvy, so I just decided not to try with this one. I like my rootstocks to be a little bit straighter, but just for demonstration purposes, so kind of, if I can hold it here and show you. Alright, so you're going to strip off all of the leaves. Get some pruning shears and snip everything off. So when you have like the top of a branch here, you're going to want that cut off at an angle. You don't want the top, you don't want any leaves, you don't want any of these nodes. So anything where you see like a node, here's a node, you want to trim that off. And you want to make sure, maybe it's a little bit easier to show you on here. You want to make sure that you trim it. Try to get it in focus. Trim it at an angle in between like 2 nodes. So here's a node, here's a node. You're going to trim it at the bottom in between 2 nodes. So you're going to make sure your top is trimmed as well at an angle. This doesn't belong on here. And then for your rooting, you want a good 3 inches at least. 3 to 4 inches is what's really going to help you to root this. So you want something that has about 2 or 3 nodes, and you're going to strip the bark, and you're going to strip it all the way. So you're just going to scrape it, strip it. Let me do it up here a little bit quicker. Alright, so even where this node is up here, you're going to want to scrape that back, because it's going to make roots there, and you want that exposed. So what you would do is you would open this up, dip it in, tap it, and then rub rooting hormone all over this. All over this. Oops. And then however deep your pot is, this is a little bit shallower pot, you would gather up your soil, or this is our compost, because I make a big mess. You would put all your compost in, and you're going to plant this in all the way, and then pat it in and fill it up all the way. We're not, this guy's just to show you guys what we did. But you would, you know, pat it in all the way, tuck it in, and then water it in really good so that it runs and drains through. This is already pretty moist because we had some rain. So that's what you would do. And then basically I water these every day or every other day. Just make sure that they don't dry out. So moist but not dry and not sopping wet. And they need to be able to drain, and they need to be somewhere in at least partial to full sun. So those will get watered in over winter, and then in about 2 years is when they should be ready to be repotted into like a 3-gallon pot, and then they'll be putting on enough growth that they can get repotted or sold or planted into the ground, and you will probably get at least some figs on your tree. So usually by the second year in between the second and third year, I've had these make figs on them for everybody. So we sell them about every 2 years. So it takes about 2 years, 2.5 years, and then we sell them. So we sold out this year of all of our fig trees. And that's just kind of the process. So, Wayland's busy working in the garden, fixing stuff, and we got the carrots planted over here. And I'll just kind of bring you around a little bit and show you. We got some mums happening. There's our rest of our seedlings that we've started and need to get planted out soon. There's our pool. Got some mums over here. This is our Cranberry Hibiscus. So this is an edible tree, and it can be used for tea, and it makes like really pretty pink flowers that you can use in the tea as well. So I'll dehydrate that and put it in a jar. And this will be like a living wall. We've got our Malabar spinach that's climbing up in here, and we've got some caladiums that are here with solar lights, and some Cranberry Hibiscus. Got some different things. I'm just going to show you guys. I got, I wasn't sure if it was going to make it. A friend brought me a goji berry cutting. So I've got a goji berry plant. They'll start off green, and then they look like little chili pekins. And so these should be ready to eat. Oops. Now that they're red. So, kind of waited a while for this. It's not like the dried ones. It kind of, it's not as sweet as the dried ones, that's all I'm going to say. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little, almost kind of like a little grape, but not as sweet. So, that was kind of fun. So I was excited that my goji berry plant has made it and making some goji berries. Just some different seedlings like broccoli, pak choy, some more tomato plants, a couple of them. I forget what else I have over here. We've got some beets. I did start some more lettuces. So I started some butter crunch lettuce seeds in here and here. And I transplanted this sweet potato vine where our cranberry hibiscus is. We've got a baby bell pepper here. So just moved it to get some more sun. We got a cutting from a friend. I forget what that is. Got another pepper plant here. Here's our baby gem romaine lettuces under here. So we've transplanted most of our seedlings out, and most of them did really good before the rains that came. And I think there's only a few that didn't make it. So I've got I've got 4 beds of romaine lettuce. And then I transplanted out a couple of days ago or so our Swiss chard here in this bed. So that's my station for the loofah that I'm harvesting and getting seeds from. Here's another pepper plant that we have. It's putting on some flowers. So we should get some peppers for fall. It's kind of the garden. Here's our key lime tree. And here's our purslane. This is edible. You can eat that, or we feed some of that to the chickens. I've got a little bay leaf tree here. There's some Rose of Sharon cuttings I took in here. Here's our datura plant, so it makes a double purple and white flower, which is really pretty. Let's see if this one's a little more open. There we go, there's one. So that one's really pretty. And yes, I showed you the Moringa tree. Here's our banana trees, ice cream bananas. I didn't see any pods yet, so these came back from the February freeze that we had here in Texas. They were cut all the way back down to the ground, and they're, I'm going to say 30 feet tall. They're pretty tall. So we don't have any pods yet. It takes about 18 months before you get your first banana pod. So we'll see what happens in the springtime. But we have our Moringa tree here, and we had a lot of rain that came right after I transplanted my tomato plants. So this is a Juliet. This is another special one that we have. That one died. So I've got some more seeds that were started. Over here's our loquat tree. Just some Ruellia that makes really pretty purple flowers. Hey Michael, how are you? Happy Monday. We finally have some free time to work in the garden a little bit. Got some more Ruellia here. It makes just almost every day. There's beautiful purple flowers on it. I really like that. I'm probably going to trim that back a little bit. And then a squirrel came yesterday and he tried to bury and plant this peanut. I put some watercress seeds in here and hoping that they'll sprout and germinate. So I've got some plantain, my tomato plant that I planted before the rains died, so I did start some more seed. I was going to try seeing how that did in the front, but we've got some purslane, lots of basil. This is my onion chives hanging on. Hopefully it'll come back and get a little bit bigger. So I did start some seed in the back, so we'll see how that does. This is my chia seed experiment. So a lot of times I put it in my coffee and I don't always finish it, so I was dumping my chia seeds in here. And this is a really good edible green that's super easy to grow. Also, I've been feeding it to the chickens. They love it. Something a little bit different for them. It's a really mild, tender leaf for just eating in like a salad or by itself, or like you could put it in a saute or a soup or something. It was really cool. It's the first time I grew that this year. And then one of our lawn care customers gave us some garlic chives, so I transplanted that there. I need to do a little bit of trimming on our rosemary. Greek oregano, Cuban oregano. Lemon balm is really great for teas. I like that one a lot. Here's some of my basil starting to go to seed, so I'm going to pinch that off. And I don't know what we all have going on here. There's some lemongrass here, strawberry mint. I forget what that is. Someone gave me a gifted plant. Here's a desert rose that we got at a plant swap. And there's our prayer plant back here on the porch. Oh, probably because the lighting couldn't see it. It has a really pretty pattern on the leaves. So at night, they'll stand up at night and they'll do like a prayer position. So it's really pretty. And over here we got elephant leaves that someone gave us as a little cutting at a plant swap, and some of our hedge here had died from the Texas freeze, so we're trying to fill in the gap a little bit. So we put that there, cranberry hibiscus, and more of the Ruellia. We've got some different Hoyas down here, and I've got more datura in the front. So this, I need to save some of the seeds. It's making a seed pod. It'll look like this, and then it'll get dried up, and you can save the seed and plant it again. And then I need to water these again. This is my lettuces. I think these are all romaine lettuce. A few didn't make it because of the heavy rains that came, so I did start some more seed. I see a squirrel or a cat dug over here. So we're going to fill in all the empty spots. Oh, there's quite a few now. I definitely have quite a few empty spots. So this whole bed's supposed to be lettuces because it's partial shade. Here's our grapefruit tree. There's our Rose of Sharon over here. Sadly, there's no flowers on it today, but it makes a really pretty purple flower. And I think our grapevine just needs more sunshine, so we still need to figure out where to move it to. But it looks really pretty, and the grape leaves are edible, so you can use them in wraps or things like that. That's my aloe that I use in our soaps and men's shave soaps. And here's our Meyer lemon. So we're not going to have any fruit on it this year because of the freeze. Everything, all the blossoms dropped off, so next year should be a good year. Same with our pomegranate wonderful. She dropped all of her fruit, so we didn't get any fruit this fall. We would have harvested that in September. We're still not sure if the key lime is going to be true to flavor because I think it died back all the way, so we're just going to kind of wait and see. If it's bitter, I think I'm going to try and take some cuttings and start another pomegranate tree because I really love pomegranates, and so do our friends, so we might do another pomegranate there. And we missed out on so many avocados this season. This year we had hundreds of avocados before the Texas freeze. It dropped all of them. I have nurtured this little girl, Joey, or I should say boy. Joey is our Joey avocado. I've nurtured it back. It looks really beautiful and lush, but there is sadly not any blossoms on it for avocados this season. So I believe we'll just have a really good season next year for our fruit. And then that's about it. So just a little tour of our homestead for fall and what we're doing in the fall gardens. And I hope you guys have a lovely day. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And I'm going to upload this to our YouTube channel. I'm trying to do a gardening series. I did injure my foot a couple weeks ago, pretty badly. It's doing better. It's just kind of slow on the mending. And so Wayland's been helping me with getting the carrots planted. A lot of the seedlings died because I just couldn't either get to them, or the other thing was I didn't buy the insert trays to lift them up out of the trays that hold the water, and so I think they got a little too much water because we were really busy with work and stuff, and so it was an extra investment I didn't want to purchase this season, but I think next season we're going to go ahead and purchase the inserts for those as well, so we can lift the whole tray out at one time so all the plants can drain, because it's really a pain to pull out 200 plants out of the trays to get them to all drain enough, and so that was kind of a task he and I were not happy with. And that's why I think a lot of seedlings, we lost a lot of them. The other thing is tried to put them out too soon before our Texas cool front came. And so even in the evening at night, it was too hot and it killed a lot of like our pak choi, our lettuce, some different seedlings that I started. It was just too much. So we probably lost about a third of our seedlings, and I reseeded. And then Wayland didn't know I reseeded, and he dumped out the empty pots into a bucket, and I went, oh my gosh, I just put new seeds in. And he's like, you didn't tell me. And I said, I didn't have time. So I just threw that bucket with all the seeds and stuff into one of our raised beds, and if something comes up, I'll probably transplant it. But I ended up putting all new potting mix soil in those seed containers and reseeding again, I think just when we got the rains a couple of days ago. I forget what day it was, but anywho, I reseeded a bunch of new seeds, and so they're outside getting acclimated, just not being in the house, because outside it's really nice temperatures. It's in the 80s, which feels really good compared to the hundreds. And yeah, so we're just getting ready for fall. We got broccoli, carrots, beets. We'll be picking up onions November 15th at the nursery to plant out our onions, broccoli, kale, collards, pak choi, the lettuces, Swiss chard. I think that's all we have room for. So that's what we have going and growing here in our garden. Thanks for watching, guys. Everything's watered by rainwater, and when we run out, that's when we use city water. So hopefully with all the rains we've had that filled us up, we do hold 1,400 gallons of rainwater that we use on a drip system. I'll try to put links to our dig drips list. Oh, I can't talk today. I can't talk today. The dig drip system. We picked it up, I think, at Home Depot, and Wayland just puts it together how we need it. Our rows are 25 feet long, and everything is set up with a low pressure timer from Toro. So it's battery operated, and the battery lasts about 2 years or so. I don't think we've had to change out the battery yet. So he's got a couple of timers, and he just automatically waters. Either each line is set up individually and stuff like that, and then I hand water a lot of the rest of what's in the front. He did manage to set me up. So this is our dig system. So this line goes all the way back to our rain catchment in the backyard, and then I don't have a timer here, so I come and manually turn this on open for about an hour to drip or so in the evenings, and then hopefully remember to come out here and shut it off. So if not, I try to water this by hand, but that's supposed to help me. I think we're going to try and get a timer for that too, because I forget all the time, and I don't want to waste our rainwater. So yeah, that's it. You guys have a great week, and grow something fun, grow something. It's so easy to grow things and have them either in like a raised bed or some pots, just like we have here. This is our kitchen garden right in front, so we can just come out and grab something and cook a really good meal. Pestos, salad dressings, just whatever. It's really fun. It's really helped that we put the rock down so that the dirt doesn't splash up into the pots or onto the plants. And it was some heavy rains recently, so there was a little bit of splash up from here to here, but it didn't go inside or onto the plant, and that can cause diseases and stuff like that, and so we really don't want the splash up. So it's really been helpful to put the rock down. So that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.